Hi, guys. I wanted to go over some of the pieces of this book with you. You have it in a printable version if you'd like. It's on a Google Slides, and so you can print it if you would like. If you do that, you can trace over the words, you can color it, you can put your name on the front cover, and it's a great way to practice. Or you can just use it on your tablet, kind of like how I'm using. And even if you use it on your tablet, I would love if you continue to practice it over and over a couple times. So I wanted to have a chance to go over everything with you because you may see a lot of these things in church, but maybe you have no idea what it is or what it's for or what it's called. So this book will help us a little bit. It's called At Church. At church, I see the crucifix. And the crucifix is something that you see right when you walk in. It's big, it's on the front of the church and right in the middle. And ours in our church does have a Jesus on it. Some of them are just a cross. And we celebrate that. And that's the biggest, most focal point of our church because that's why we're Christians, because Jesus died on the cross and resurrected on Easter. And so that's there to remind us why we're even at church and what we believe. At church, I see the altar. The altar is also pretty close to the front and the center, and that's where we sometimes we sing songs about it actually, like coming to the table of the Lord and celebrating together, kind of in a meal together when we um, eat the body and drink the blood of Christ. So the altar is where the Mass is celebrated, that kind of table in the front. At church, I see the tabernacle, and that is right below the crucifix. Ours is kind of shiny and it's really pretty, and it locks. And inside of it is the host. Sometimes you guys say that they're crackers, but it's more important than a cracker. It's a little piece of unleavened bread that we get, and once it's consecrated, it becomes the body of Christ. And so, if there are any left over, they put them in the tabernacle so that they can be safe and protected. At church, I see the candles. So, in a Catholic church, there are so many reasons to have candles. Some of them are like a baptismal candle, some of them are for holidays like Advent, some of them are to show that there are consecrated hosts in the tabernacle. Some of them are for prayers to say to people who need them. Some of them are just for looks, to look beautiful. So we have lots of candles in a Catholic church, and they all kind of serve a different purpose. At church, I see the chalice. And a chalice is what we put the wine in, and it becomes the blood of Christ. So during communion, people drink from the chalice. At church, I see the ciborium, and this is what the host goes in while the Eucharistic ministers pass it out. So you guys are too young to get communion, but once you're in second grade, they will pass it out to you from the ciborium. At church, I see the host, and that's what we were just talking about that goes in the ciborium. At church, I see the monstrance. And a monstrance is this kind of fancy, almost a statue, trophy looking thing. It's usually really fancy, good, beautiful metal. And you put a host in the middle, and it's used for special ceremonies. At church, I see the thurible. And this is what they put incense in, again, for kind of special ceremonies. And the incense burns and the smoke goes up, and I think it smells so good. And it's just a way to be extra prayerful, and it's just part of certain ceremonies that we celebrate. At church, I see the statues. And again, this is one thing that lots of different churches have different statues or ones that they find more special. This, we do have a Mary and a Joseph, and most churches will, but they might have other ones as well. And I believe we have a St. Francis statue. If you go into the church and look to the right, I believe that's what that statue is. So lots of churches celebrate different saints or different people that they wanted to recognize. So you might see a couple different statues depending on what church you're in. At church, I see the stations. And again, this looks different in different churches, but ours are in stained glass along the back, kind of the balcony. And the stations of the cross are all the different things that Jesus went through before he was crucified on the cross and before he resurrected on Easter. So the stations represent each of the phases of the things he went through before that. At church, I see blank. I know I mentioned lots and lots of things already, but I would love if you guys could fill in one that I haven't said yet. Something that you see at church that we didn't mention. So you will write it on the bottom and then you can draw an awesome picture of it at the top. I hope you guys have a great day and I will see you soon.